I've just been to an amazing 3-day event with 1,000 other online entrepreneurs. And you can imagine the buzz and the energy that was in the room. And it was probably some of the most transformative days I've had ever in my life. And I'm going to share the biggest takeaways that I got from this event so that you can actually implement it in your business too. If you don't know me, my name is Josephine Warner, and I am here to help and serve my audience and my clients to build highly engaged audiences on LinkedIn and successful online businesses. Because I am convinced that having an online business is the only way, most efficient, most effective way to actually become free. Free from a time perspective and free from a financial perspective. So let's dive in. There are over 1,000 people at this event. So obviously I can't connect with everyone. And even if I would connect with everyone, you wouldn't really remember them. So I've made an effort that those that I sit next to, or if I meet someone in the coffee line, for example, that I then start a little of a conversation with them, asking them what it is that they're doing, where they're from, because we have people here from all over the world. And also make sure that I've then connected with them on LinkedIn or on Instagram, because many people are on Instagram and not on LinkedIn. So we make sure we connect with each other on a preferred platform. And the coolest thing is that so many of them, or all of them actually, that I've connected with when I tell them about what it is that I do, is that they've all said they want to learn more about LinkedIn. And that is such an energy boost that when you are in a room of people that know exactly what it is that you're doing, and that they then appreciate what it is that you do and the impact that you want to make in the world. The second key takeaway is a little bit more strategic. Well, it is about the principles when it comes to marketing and when it comes to sales. And both of these are based on different foundations like people buy from people. No one would buy from you unless they see you as an authority and an expert, or at least as if you are a couple of steps ahead of them in something that they want to learn. And it is so important to remember those principles, because now, especially when AI is taking over the world and you can make AI generated videos of people, there is still something missing in that AI content, and that is connections, right? So you have to connect with people. So if you don't have a piece of connection in your offers for 2025, that is something that you definitely need to add, because content alone, how-to content, is not going to make it any longer. You can't sell how-to content. Everyone can use ChatGPT and everyone can Google things nowadays. The extra piece, the extra kind of touch that you can bring there is to help people to actually implement it, to help people to hold them accountable, to make sure that when they have a question, that they get that question answered. Because they can't Google what they don't know. You can't Google a question if you don't know the question, right? So people will still have questions that they will need to get answered, and to get those answered, that is where you can help them. The third piece is video. Yes, I know video content is so big and it's going to get even bigger. And the reason again is because of AI. AI has entered the market and it will stay here. And you see so much content created today where you have AI generated captions, AI generated hooks, AI generated pictures, AI generated, I don't know what, everything is AI generated. So with video, you can still stand out. It is big and you need to start doing video. And I know I'm struggling with it too. I'm especially struggling with staying consistent with video. And I think the piece about video is that I think it's a little bit more hustle, or it is more hustle. It takes more effort to create video than what it takes to create a post, a caption post with a picture, right? It is so much more effort. But it also builds know, like, and trust faster. So if you think about it, what if you create 5 caption posts and in the same time you can build the trust with just one video? So if you think of it like that, then the effort isn't so much bigger to create a video, actually. And I've learned a really cool strategy that I'm going to try to implement. It's that you split the things you need to do for video creation across the whole week. So Monday, for example, you research hooks, you check out what content is currently going viral. And I've heard the new term niche neighbors instead of competitors. What are currently my niche neighbors, your peers? What are they doing? What content is currently being promoted on LinkedIn or YouTube or wherever you want to host your videos? And then you use those as inspiration, but you still need to add your touch to it, right? Your thoughts around it. And that is for Monday. On Tuesday, you record the video. You've already created the hooks. You've already created the content. You just sit down and start recording the video. On Wednesday, you do the editing and you create the description and the short caption and you do a thumbnail if you're on YouTube, for example. And on Thursday, that's when you schedule it. So if you only do one video per week and you split it down into these small bits and pieces, it is actually not that much. And when you create that habit, it will be easier and easier to do it. So the day 2 actually started with no internet connection whatsoever. And that makes you realize how vulnerable you are when you don't have any internet and how dependent we are on it. But what I did then was I actually recorded day 1, the takeaways of day 1. So what you saw already was the summary of what happened on day 1. And today we are actually a couple of days after the event, and a lot of things have happened since then. But I made sure to take notes during the event, and we're continuing with my takeaways from day 2, and I want to apply them so that you have some takeaways and some things to work on. So the first one is, you know the picture on the iceberg, right? And the tip that you see on the iceberg is just the tiny, tiny tip of you and of who you are. And what goes on underneath that iceberg is so much more than what people see. And if you can show a little bit more of yourself, of your authentic self, then you will grow as a person and you will start to attract more people to you too. Because that is actually what makes us stand out in comparison to everyone else. That when we show who we are and what it is that we stand for, our values and what we love doing, who we love working with, then those are the people that you will start to attract to. But it wasn't only about mindset and growing as a person. We also covered a lot of strategy. And one of the things that I went through as part of day 2 was actually to redefine my social media strategy, to make it easier for me to understand what is it that I'm focusing on for 2025. Where do I start? What is the focus? And in my view, what I want to change for 2025 is to do more video. And then you create takeaways from those videos, and you also repurpose from those videos. You can create newsletter from the video, you can create blog posts from the video, you can create shorter posts, caption posts, clips, but start with that bulk of kind of like a longer form video. And when I say long form, I mean maybe 10 to maximum 20 minutes. So you start there, and then you pull out things from there. And if you want to learn more about how that can look like for you, make sure you comment that underneath here, and I can create a short video about that too. While we're talking strategy, when it comes to sales, there are 3 key points that are valid and that are the principles of sales. And those are volume, value, and frequency. And let me just quickly share what I mean by that. So the volume is, what are the number of people that you promote yourself to or that you promote your services to? Can you increase the number of the right people? Having a huge audience with the wrong people is not going to help you, right? So you need to have volume of the right people. So start there. Number 2 was value. What is the price points that you are currently selling towards? If you have lower ticket offers, it will be harder to achieve those revenue goals that you want to achieve. So is there a way to increase the value of your offers? That is number 2. Number 3, frequency. How often do you ask? How often do you put your offers out there? Is it like once per week? Is it once per month? Maybe it's just once per quarter. How can you increase the frequency of how often you put your offers out there? Handling glitches with care. So more in terms of, we all do mistakes. Things happen all the time. Things that we couldn't plan for, or things that we did because we were, in a rush. And the thing there is to actually remember that these things are okay. As long as you learn from these things, as long as you maybe take some time to reflect on these things, and then how can I improve it in the future? Can you maybe make a checklist of all the things that needs to be included? Or how can you prevent glitches from happening again and again and again? And the biggest lesson from day 2 is energy sets the tone, right? So the energy that you walk into a room with, the energy that when you have a Zoom call, the energy that how you show up, that is what sets the tone. And it's less about what it is that you say or how you say it. It's more about the energy with how you communicate. So focus on your energy and the rest will follow. If we then move into day 3, so it was a 3-day event and the speakers that were there were amazing and so kind of successful speakers, and yet they were so humble. They didn't pitch themselves one single time. But you know what happens then? When they are up there on the stage and they deliver value and you feel the connection with these people, you will anyways check them up on social media. You will anyways download their freebies. You will anyways try to connect with these people. So remember that depending on the event that you are on and kind of how you are invited to speak at an event, is there really a need for you to pitch yourself? I doubt it. Because when you do a great job, you will share the value and what you offer with the people anyways, right? It really depends on the event. It depends on the audience that are there. It depends on the agreement you have with the organizers. But before you go there, don't go there with the mindset that I will close 5 more clients after this event, but rather go in terms of how can I deliver value at this event? And that is one huge key takeaway. So one thing, when you are in a room of like-minded people, are they people that you connect more with? Are there people that you maybe can create a little bit like, I wouldn't say inner circle of trust because I'm not a huge fan of inner circle of trust, but are there people that you find that you connect a little bit easier with? And how can you continue the discussions after that event? Because you will be so pumped up at such an event or at these types of events that you will want to do everything at the same time. And after those things, it's the same thing with when you attend an online event, for example. You are so pumped up and you are so high on energy. And after that event, it will kind of slowly but surely go down again, right? So are there ways of how you can stay accountable? And how can you best do that with the people that are there too? And here's a game changer. You know how fear and faith, like believing in yourself and what it is that you can actually accomplish, they are both unreal. Both fear and faith in believing in yourself, in believing in your success, they are both unreal. And yet we tend to believe more in fear and that the fear, these kind of worst case scenarios will happen as opposed to thinking in the good terms. But here's a little bit of a reframe of the mind that instead of caving into the fear, because if you let the fear dictate what it is that you're doing, then that is when it actually gets power of you. But if you don't lean into that, if you don't let the fear hold you back, but rather embrace it and just walk through it, what is the worst thing that can happen? What is the best thing that can happen if you do certain things? So rather think in terms of taking a step forward, going towards what feels scary and just do it anyways. It will most likely not kill you unless you would jump off a cliff or something, then don't go there though. But usually what we are so afraid of, showing up on social media, sending that email, making the post, making the invitation, pitching our offers, it won't kill you. It will make you braver and more confident. And probably one of the biggest things, all of these things are big, they are huge, but one of the biggest things is what comes easy for you is gold and super valuable for someone else. Don't ever forget that. And maybe note down what things do come easy for you. And is that something that someone else could find valuable and need in terms of to help them progress or to help them overcome their struggles and challenges? I know that this video started off a little bit like my key takeaways, but I hope they are also your key takeaways and that you find something in what I've shared with you today to actually take away with that and start implementing that to build your business in 2025 and to grow both your business, but maybe also as a person. And to remember that you are unique. Your values are unique. The sales and marketing strategies, the principles, they are the same. Connection will turn into conversions. Conversations will turn into conversions. Don't forget that. And to start building those connections and be that person that you want to be already today. Because that is what will help you to stand out. Not trying to be someone else, not trying to do what everyone else is doing, but to set a goal, make a hairy, scary goal, and then you go for that. You need strategy. You need to have like a plan. You need to have your steps lined out, because otherwise it will become so overwhelming and you won't really know what to do when and how and what you should do. So when you open the laptop in the morning, you will be so overwhelmed and you might just scroll, and then you don't know what to do. Reflect on these things. Set a big, hairy, scary goal for 2025. Break it down in smaller goals, smaller actions, and then start working towards that. And remember, you are you and you are special. And thank you so much for watching this. And if you found this helpful, please give it a like and add a comment underneath what your main key takeaway from this video was. Thank you.